Hello, I am Nathan, and this is Thunder Up Talk. So, we are in the dog days of summer. There's really not a whole lot going on. Guys are going on vacation. There's really not a whole lot of news associated with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Shea was on Jimmy Fallon last night, so that was pretty cool. I thought he did a really good job, and I thought that was a cool interview. But like I said, there really hasn't been a whole lot to talk about in regard to the Thunder until today, until this afternoon, actually. So, unfortunately, we found out that Thomas Sorber, our young big guy who we drafted 15th overall this summer, tore his right ACL. He actually tore it while he was working out here in Oklahoma City. So, as a Thunder fan, we're getting this trend of our rookie bigs getting pretty substantial injuries in the offseason. So not a big fan of that. Uh, and just like Chet, the Thunder basically just said he's not going to play for this season. So he's just completely out. Um, so for the Thunder, obviously, this is not the end of the world. I think we're still going to be favorites, or at least in the top two or three, um, you know, favorites to win the NBA championship. They're my favorite. But amongst all the media, I think they're going to be still top two, top three. It doesn't change anything like that um, in the short term. But it does. The biggest thing for me is the first thing. It's sad for Thomas Sorber. So he's so young. He was 18 years old. There were really only two things that I wanted to see. I wanted to see how he developed his body. I just wanted the focus to be on strength, conditioning, mobility. I think those were, especially on the defensive side, how quickly he can. How much he can progress in regard to being a little more quicker, a little more mobile, and just again the strength as an 18-year-old. He's got a long way to go, and now that all gets pushed back in a lot of ways because all of his time and energy will be going into rehabbing that ACL on his right knee. Now, with modern medicine and everything, I'm sure he'll be just fine, but it just pushes that all back a year. And so that really stinks. Yeah, I think the Thunder wanted to also just see, is he a guy? Can he contribute to this team going forward? And that's a question that we still have and we will have next year. We just really won't know. Um, and it makes me wonder now, will this have any impact on what the Thunder decide to do with Isaiah Hartenstein? So a lot of people have talked about and speculated that we might have to trade Isaiah Hartenstein. And with a guy that he ended his freshman year early with an injury, he is now out entirely with this ACL. Chet had a quote unquote freak foot injury and the hip injury, which was also just a really odd one and hardly ever happens in basketball. It does make me wonder if the Thunder are going to think about keeping Isaiah Hartenstein for a little bit longer if they're able to do that. That becomes quite a bit of a challenge money wise. Uh, but yeah, it just makes me wonder if the Thunder think about that in a different way. I have no idea what their intentions are currently and how this will impact it, but it definitely could. And then it also, I just think about Jalen Williams. He got a big uh, increase in pay. He got a nice, good contract. Um, Definitely a good contract for the Thunder, in my opinion. But he got his payday, and I just want to see how he continues to progress. And he's really starting to kind of become silently a really good 3-point shooter for the Thunder. And I think it's a lot of time it's just kind of a pick your poison. What are you gonna do? And the best option a lot of times is to leave Jalen Williams open for a three. But he's really making the defense pay for that, and the percentages prove that. So that will also, I think, factor in on what they decide to do with iHeart as well. So um, at the end of the day, this isn't the worst thing ever. It's just kind of like a, ugh, not again, another injury. Um, that we've now dealt with Chet, Topage, and now, and we knew what we're getting into with Topage, but it's still another year we had to wait for a young player. And now Sorber. So I wish nothing but the best. Hope he heals up quickly. I hope, we just look back on this in a few years and, it was just a little bit of a setback for him and not necessarily for the team, because again, I think we still have a great chance to win the championship, but it's just a bummer that we're not going to get to see him play because Mark would have found minutes for him. If we know anything about Mark Daignault, he likes to use his bench in the regular season. The Thunder as a whole, as an organization, they like to see what they have in players and simultaneously still win a lot of games. Uh, but it is what it is. So with that, I will talk to you later. This is Thunder Up Talk. Bye.